Got folks trickling in. Welcome, everyone. We'll get started here momentarily. Just give folks a chance to join before we get started. Nik, Jen, how are you guys doing this morning?
Living the dream.
Got it on camera.
And recorded.
Exactly.
For posterity.
It's Nik's catchphrase, Giovanna and Jovan, if you hadn't heard him say that before.
It gets old pretty quickly.
No, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, it is.
It's better than the horrors persist, yet so do I.
I think I beg to differ on that one, Nik. I'm going to have to get a shirt made with that.
Yeah.
I have a Living the Dream shirt, just for everyone wondering. All right. Why don't we go ahead and get started? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome and thank you for joining us today. My name is Alex Kron. I am BPOC's Digital Operations and Collections Information Analyst. And with me today is BPOC's CEO, Nik Honeysett, and Director of Finance, Jennifer Weavers. If you are joining us for the first time, BPOC started this webinar series in 2020 to help facilitate critical conversations around the technologies that we use in museums, libraries, archives, galleries, and to provide a free resource for the community. Now, before we get to Hidonix's presentation, I do have an announcement that I want to make and share with you that today is my last webinar with BPOC. I know, sad face, Nik. I'm leaving my position at BPOC and will be joining Terentia, a next generation platform for collections and digital asset management. I'll post more details about that on my LinkedIn next week. And if you'd like to stay connected, please connect with me on LinkedIn. While my leaving is bittersweet, I am so thankful to have had this opportunity to facilitate these webinars and meet so many wonderful folks in the field and contribute to these meaningful discussions and resources. But don't worry, the series will continue with Nik and Jen. Now, I am happy to introduce Giovanna Panebianco, Chief Marketing Officer, and Jovan Harmon, Business Development Manager for Hidonix, who will be talking about who Hidonix is and their museum innovation technology platform. Giovanna, Jovan, thank you so much for coming on to the webinar series. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you for your presentation.
Thank you as well.
Thank you. So good morning, Alex, and good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for this webinar on how to leverage the potential of AI through our platform, MIT, which means Museum of Innovation Technology. I'd also like, of course, to thank Alex and the entire team at Balboa Park Online Collaborative for giving us this opportunity to discuss the future of museum together. So I'll ask Jovan to share our slides here.
Yes, and thank you, Giovanna. Thank you, Alex, for the wonderful introduction. Now, before I share my screen, I want to draw everyone's attention to this piece of paper. And this is everything we currently know about customs collection management systems, right? We're going to just rip that in half because today we're going to show you guys something that has never been done before, something that is entirely new and hopefully captivating. So with that being said, I'm going to share my entire screen here and go directly into our presentation. So let me minimize this for you all. So as we can see, the title is Unlocking Museum Potential, Harnessing AI with MIT, Museum Innovation Technology. So I'm going to have Giovanna go through the first couple slides, and then I'll take it from there.
Sure, thank you, Jovan. So first, let me introduce you to our company, Hidonix, who we are and what we do. So Hidonix was officially founded in 2020 in Italy, but its roots go back about 10 years when a group of professionals, including myself, from various fields. So we were from the field of technology, of course, marketing, UX and UI design. We came together to combine our skills and passion for art our goal was to create a project that will help museums reclaim their social role and attract younger generation to their venues. So after years of market research, scouting for new technologies, and of course, development, we secured funding from a family office, in Milan, which allowed us to begin marketing our solution. So today, 4 years later, we have a team of 30 people, a US headquarters in LA, but also offices in Italy as well, of course, in Milan and Catania. So what sets us apart from the competition, I think, is our constant investment in research and development. We have our internal research and development team that is always working on new technologies, but our core technologies are the ones you see listed here. So spatial intelligence, XR, robotics, and of course, today's topic, which is artificial intelligence. So now that you have a little bit of context about who we are, I'd like to walk you through today's agenda and the topics we'll cover. So first, we'll introduce you to MIT, so our software for museum. Again, this is an acronym that means Museum Innovation Technology. We have more than 60 features right now, and we have grouped them into 3 tools, which are the Visitor app, the CMS, which stands for Content Management System, the CRM, which stands for Customer Relationship Management System. And after that, we'll deep dive into AI and the way we have integrated our own AI, so a proprietary technology, and also the AI from OpenAI, which probably you know more about as ChatGPT. So I'd also like to mention that we are continually working on new features. So what we'll show you right now is just a glimpse of what's to come. So with that, I'll now hand it over to my colleague, Jovan, who will explain these topics in more detail. So thank you.
All right, thank you so much for the overview and the agenda. So next, we're going to move on into talking about MIT itself, not to be confused with the Research Institute. This, once again, is our Museum Innovation Technology. It's based on over a decade of actual tangible research. And what you're seeing here is going to be the execution of that research. So it was born from the real needs of museums worldwide. The software architecture is pretty straightforward. It's going to consist of a white labeled content management system, as well as a mobile application for your visitors and constituents. It is intended to be an all-in-one solution, albeit it is completely modular with over 60 different features, and we're adding more and more at the request of our users. This is the only platform that we know of today that can serve as both a content management system and a customer relationship management system, offering engaging content while helping museums increase visits and revenue. So moving along here, the next thing I want to discuss with you all is the other part of the software architecture, which is the mobile application. Now, of course, the goal is to enhance the experience of your visitors and constituents, which means that anything that you can do on a museum's website, you can, of course, do through our application, such as buying tickets, managing your memberships, so on and so forth. But we take it a step further by adding AI and using our unique technologies within this application. So if you draw your attention to the right here, one of these technologies is going to be heavily geared towards orientation, including smart parking, interactive maps, and indoor-outdoor navigation. Yes, you read that correctly. That is both indoor and outdoor navigation. So I imagine a lot of you might use Apple Maps or Google Maps or Waze in your daily commute. We have the equivalent of that, except indoors. So allowing you to navigate through large museums, navigate to every single point of interest from turn to turn, step by step, while you're in indoor spaces. Doesn't matter if you're on the fourth floor or in the basement, it's going to be some of the most accurate indoor positioning and navigation technology on the market today. Another one of our proprietary technologies that lies within the mobile application is going to be our image recognition technology, which allows users to basically hold up their camera as if you're scanning a QR code, but there's no QR codes involved. You just hold up your camera and scan any point of interest, whether it be an object, a vehicle, a painting, and you'll receive information on what you're scanning pushed directly through that application. We also use AI to power our advanced search feature, which allows you to search by artist, section, year, collection, and much more. The application will also give you access to multimedia content, whether it be photos, videos, sound files, all related to the art and other points of interest. Another huge point of that we want to emphasize here is accessibility and inclusivity. We have content that can be categorized by age or knowledge level, such as kids' games. We also have vocal assistance for the visually impaired and much more. So we don't want a disability or even not being able to speak the native language of the country that you're in. We don't want those things to stop your visitors and constituents from being able to experience your museum as they should. So by using modern technology, we can allow anyone to have this amazing museum experience. So moving along here, another acronym for you. Once again, CMS is going to stand for Content Management System. And this is intended to optimize all of your museum's operations. So through the CMS, you can handle bookings, ticketing, and events. You also have a CDWA compliant archive with history and logistics of all of your artworks. Doesn't matter if it was on display in 1957, doesn't matter if it's on display today in 2024. You can have all of your archives actively stored within the CMS. You can also have access to map management. Much like earlier, I mentioned the indoor-outdoor navigation. You can have a digital map of your entire indoor and outdoor premises stored here within the CMS as well. And then we have a plethora of features related to security, which include live tracking of visitors, unauthorized access alerts that can be pushed to your security team, as well as pressure sensors to keep people away from the art. I'm sure we've all had that experience where we're really into a certain painting. We might step a little too close and security has to ask us to please move back. It can sometimes be an awkward interaction. With the pressurized sensors, you'll receive a notification directly to your phone asking you to take a few steps back from the art, but still being able to enjoy it. So moving forward here, the other acronym I want to make sure we get really familiar with is CRM, Customer Relationship Management. So the goal of the CRM part of the MIT platform is to understand your visitors and drive revenue. So through the CRM features, you can manage memberships, donations, e-commerce, point of sale, as well as visitor profiling, which is really cool. So you can know everything about your constituents and your visitors, whether they frequent your museum, whether it's their first time there, or whether they've been there every week for the last 20 years. So their interests, level of wealth, education, location, and more, all of that can be found within our CRM. And then with the AI, we can actually track visitors' paths through the museum. So you can track their interactions and behaviors, including heat maps, entry points, content management or content engagement, donations, time spent, and spending patterns. So we're leveraging the power of AI to really understand your visitors and constituents, which can generate valuable data points for museums to make actionable decisions. So next, we're going to talk about integrating AI with MIT. We're going to take a deep dive into this subject here. So there are a lot of challenges faced by museums. And once again, the MIT was the culmination of a decade of research. And some of the challenges that we found through our research were the challenge of efficient digitization. There's so many softwares out there, and a lot of them are fragmented and don't talk to each other. So right now, the current state of museum technology is you have to log into one platform to accomplish one thing, log into another platform to accomplish another thing. And those platforms don't talk to each other. They have no means of communication. So efficient digitization is a huge challenge today, as well as limited staffing for content creation. I know me, myself, I'm not all that good at content creation. Luckily, Giovanna is an expert at it, but it can be tedious finding someone, hiring someone, and having to pay them to manage content, whether it be content related to the art or any other type of content, can be a very costly venture. As well as another challenge that we see is growing demand for multilingual support. Now, if you travel a lot, maybe you speak every language of everywhere that you go. Maybe you don't. Me, for example, I have a trip planned next year. I don't speak that native language. I still plan on going to museums, but hopefully I'll be able to enjoy those museums in English. I'm still not sure. So there's a growing demand for multilingual support. And with AI, we can translate to generally any language known to man. So all of your visitors can feel included when they're in your museum. Another challenge that we saw is insufficient visitor and donor insights. A lot of museums lack actual data They might have a little bit, maybe 20% of the entire story, but with Hidonix, the goal is to give you 1,000% of the entire story. Really understand your visitors, understand your constituents, because right now, that type of data just doesn't exist within the market. Another challenge that we found is rising expectations for personalized services. Now, personalized services are sort of the standard in every other market except museums. For example, when you log into Netflix or any other streaming service, the first thing you're going to see is suggestions based on what you've already watched. That personalized experience is a part of the reason why Netflix and other streaming services are so successful, because you can pick if you love this movie, if you like this movie, if you didn't like it, and then you'll receive personalized recommendations based off of your viewing history. The same should happen in museums. It's the same experience that people want at home. They want those experiences in museums. So Hidonix can help your customers, your visitors, your constituents have that experience. And the last challenge that we found here, well, last but not least, is budgetary limitations. We understand that working with a strict timeline, strict budget, and strict bureaucracy can be pretty frustrating, but Hidonix is here to work with you regarding your budgetary limitations. And we understand that that can be a very frustrating situation. We have the resources in place to assist you in that conversation. So moving along here, we're going to talk about how MIT's AI solutions come to the rescue. Once again, MIT meaning Museum Innovation Technology. So one of our proprietary technologies here is Hido. It's a robotic dog that we use for automated digitization. If you've been to AAM, you've probably seen me walking around with Hido. So what it does is it goes around the museum or archive to scan artworks, acquiring images and information from plaques. That information is then automatically uploaded into the content management system in newly created artwork records. So now all of your physical artwork is now digitized within the platform. Hido can also be navigated autonomously, which means it can walk around, avoid obstacles, climb stairs, and return to the charging station all on its own. Albeit, it does have a pretty cool remote if you do prefer to control it manually. As well as, let's touch on the scanning speed. So Hido is capable of scanning one artwork in 10 seconds. So no matter how big your collection is, Hido can scan it and digitize it in a relatively timely manner. But last but not least is spatial mapping. Hido can also map the space for navigation services. So if there are some places that we need to map on site at your premises, whether it's indoors or outdoors, if a person can't fit in there to map it, I guarantee you Hido can. So next we'll discuss the integration of MIT with OpenAI and Hidonix's AI. So one key point that I want to drive home here is while we do utilize a lot of the open source AI technologies, we do have our own proprietary AI and machine learning models that we've developed in-house. So the platform is powered by both of these different models. So we can touch on the automatic creation of artwork, details, and descriptions, which we'll show you in a little while during the live demo, but we're using OpenAI to accomplish that. We can also show you the automatic creation of speech from text. We'll go through automatic translation of text into multiple languages, and then simultaneous translation of speech via smartphone. So you see how all of these features that we discussed earlier are sort of coming together with AI. The translation, the multiple languages, the creation of speech, it's really all amazing, and we're excited to show you. So here is where I'm going to briefly pause. Hopefully you've enjoyed the first half of our demo, and I'm going to allow Giovanna to share the screen, and she's going to show you guys the actual platform. Now, this is where you get out of your seats and start clapping.
Thank you, Jovan.
Thank you.
Can you see the platform right now?
Yes, we can see it in all its glory. So I want to draw your attention here. This is the home screen when you log into the platform. This is the first thing you're going to see. This is just the general tab. So this is general information about your museum. It's pretty straightforward. And if you look on the left side here, these are going to be a lot of the features that you'll have access to: catalog, tickets, maps and tours, a control room, marketing, analytics, Internet of Things, help, settings, managing your tickets. So there's a lot of features built in here. But what we're really going to focus on for the sake of time is the catalog. Now, it's important to note that your catalog can be grouped by artist, style, time period, section, artworks, et cetera, et cetera. It doesn't matter if your museum's collection consists of art, as in paintings. It doesn't matter if it consists of sculptures, vehicles, whatever your museum consists of, we can store it here within MIT. So we see all of these different artists from different time periods, but we're going to want to add a new one here. So if we scroll all the way down, there's someone missing. And who is that someone? We're going to add Vincent van Gogh. So you type in his name here and his nationality. Awesome. And then we're going to let the AI do the rest. So you click the button here to generate the rest of the entity with AI. And you can see as it loads here, it's filling out the different fields. So now we have a photo, his birth date, the date he unfortunately passed away, as well as a brief biography here. Now, within the biography, we're doing short form descriptions for today, but you can choose to have the descriptions, whether they be short or long. So you want to go ahead and hit save. And it's going to take a minute to load. And when you hit save, you'll see Vincent van Gogh has been added to the content management system. So the next thing we want to do, let's assume that this museum just acquired a new Vincent van Gogh painting. We're going to click on artworks, add new, and we want to add one of his most famous paintings, which is, of course, the Starry Night. So you type in the artwork name, and because he's already in the system, he'll be in the dropdown. And then once again, we'll let the AI do the rest as it is loading. Scroll down. You see the fields have been populated using AI, as well as another short description. The Starry Night is one of Vincent van Gogh's most famous paintings, depicting a dreamy night sky with swirling stars and a bright crescent moon. So you're going to want to save that. And the next thing that you can do to further manage this is upload an image. So when you click upload, you want to hit save, and then you can upload a cover image based on what you're going to see on the home page there. And we're uploading another image, and we want to save that. And the next thing we want to do is make this viewable. So we're going to click display in catalog, as well as display on homepage. And we also want to make this piece scannable for your constituents and visitors. So we're just going to hit save and then go back in the bottom, cite it as approved, hit save again. And now the Starry Night should display on your homepage. Now, the third thing we want to do is go to the description and we hit add. So we're going to let the AI manage the rest, but all you have to do in here is type description, okay, and generate with AI. And you can see once again, a more detailed description of Starry Night has been generated. So then you want to save that. And the saving is in progress. Description has successfully been saved. That is great. So now we can manage some of the other content related to the Starry Night. So next is audio. Once again, you type in description, hit OK. And then you're going to generate from the text. So that previous description that we just generated using AI is now going to be transformed into an audio description. And then you can see at the top here, the saving is in progress. And now you have an audio file of the description.
The Starry Night is a famous painting by Vincent van Gogh, created in 1889. It depicts a night sky filled with swirling clouds and bright stars, along with a large glowing crescent moon.
And so on.
Awesome. So you guys see that. That's the power of the AI at work here within the MIT platform, taking that description, turn it into an audio file. You can also turn it into a video file. And this is for people who want to enjoy the art in more immersive ways. And once again, it also has huge implications for accessibility services. So now what we're going to want to do is say we have someone from Italy in the museum. They don't speak any English, but they still want to come and enjoy the museum. So what we're going to do now is actually go and translate this from English to Italian. So you're going to see in live streaming here, everything that we've just done is going to be translated. So you click the box, you hit copy and translate, hit the OK button. It's going to ask you if you're sure. Hit OK one more time. And then next, what you're going to want to do is go to Italian, open it again. And as you can see, everything has been translated to the Italian language. And this is once again the power of the AI at work. I don't know about you all, but this gets me pretty excited. So you can see here. And I think that the name of the Starry Night in Italian sounds so much better than it does in English. La Notte Stellata. That sounds way cooler than the Starry Night, in my opinion. Awesome. Okay. And that's what we wanted to show you all today from the content management system. Thank you so much for your attention. Are we going into the mobile application now, or would you like to return back to the presentation?
Sure, we can show the mobile app right now.
Awesome. So the next thing we're going to show you all is all of the changes that were just reflected in that content management system are now going to be reflected here in the mobile application. So you can see here, and by the way, this is set to English, but you can see everything here that was in the MIT catalog is now in the mobile application as well. So this is what your visitors and your constituents would be using. So you can see same description, same image. All the changes we just made in MIT are reflected in this mobile application. So now you're really starting to see how the platform can give you total control over all parts of your museum and allow you to create genuine experiences for your visitors and your constituents. And using the power of AI, this is all done in a seamless manner as we just showed you all. Okay. Thank you so much for that, Giovanna.
Of course.
And I'm going to share my screen again because I realized there's one video I wanted to show you guys pertaining to Hido.
Welcome to the world of Hido, the groundbreaking robot dog created by Hidonix. Hido offers a comprehensive solution for indoor navigation, encompassing 3 key phases. The first phase is the robotic acquisition of spaces. Hido's advanced sensors and mapping technology allow it to autonomously explore and scan indoor environments, capturing detailed data about the magnetic landscape. The second phase involves the processing of the acquired data. Hidonix's sophisticated algorithms analyze the information collected by Hido, transforming it into a refined and comprehensive digital map. The third and final phase is the delivery of a user-friendly, customizable mobile app equipped with an advanced indoor navigation system. The mobile app seamlessly integrates with the digital map, providing.
And once again, this indoor navigation is going to be found within the same mobile application that Giovanna just showed you. So as you can see, one of our developers here is moving and getting actual turn-by-turn pinpointing and directions to where he wants to go within this space. So this is really cool.
Real-time navigation and guidance to users. With the app, you can effortlessly locate specific rooms, points of interest, and even receive important updates and notifications, all without the need for any additional hardware. Hidonix, redefining the way.
Awesome. Wanted to make sure I showed that to you all. So next, this is where we left off right after the live demo. So now we're going to talk a little bit more about the AI as it relates to the phone and visitor application. So AI-powered creation of tours for visitors. So we've discussed a lot about these personalized experiences that we want your visitors and constituents to have. So suggestions of tours can be pushed through the application, and they're based on visitor expressed preferences, visitor patterns from previous visits, time constraints, as well as crowd monitoring of areas during the visit. Because once again, using that indoor navigation technology, we can really understand the path that your visitors are taking through your premises. So whether they go to 1.1, 0.3, 0.5, 0.7, we understand how much time people are spending looking at, a particular painting such as the Starry Night. We understand how much time people spend in your gift shop. We understand what is most popular in all parts of your museum. And then we can suggest tours based on those personal preferences of your visitors. So next here, I'm going to show you a video. I'm going to briefly pause here. In this video, you can see an example of some of the analytics and data that we generate based on the MIT as well as the phone application. So you can see here, we measure and track the number of active users. We know what language people are speaking in your museum. We know their nationality. We know the most popular times they're using the application. And if we scroll down some more, we even measure age range, the type of tickets sold, what operating system they're activating or utilizing the application from. And then here at the bottom, we can see your most popular article, your most shared article, most popular event at the museum, most shared event, the number of new subscriptions you guys have had, the total number of scans, most viewed multimedia content, most popular artwork, most visited artwork, most searched artwork, and favorite artwork added in a tour. So this, once again, is what we call not just data, we call it actionable, tangible data, because you can take all of these different points of data and use them to make advanced decisions for your museum, such as maybe if you're building a new part of your museum, where should you build it? If you have rotating exhibitions, you know what's been popular in the past, so you know where to pivot to in the future. You can also see the most viewed multimedia content for category. Are your visitors using text more, audio more, video? Are they looking more into details? Or maybe even some of the 3D multi-content features. So these are just examples of some of the things that we track and measure using AI. So once again, while it is completely modular, all of these technologies come together in one integrated system with multiple benefits powered by AI. So to recap, we have Hido, robot dog, which is used for geomagnetic acquisition and digitization of your premises. We have the content management system, which is powered by AI using automatic content creation, which rolls right into the Museum Innovation Technology platform, which allows you to manage all parts of your museum, whether they be CMS or CRM features. We have a mobile application, which is intended to personalize your visitor experience and allow your visitors to feel like they're in your museum, even if they're 20,000 miles away, as well as analytics, more data, actionable data, leading to advanced business decisions, which leads to more revenue and less mistakes. So last but not least, we want to thank you for your time today. All of the info, our contact info is below. Please follow us on LinkedIn, follow us on Instagram, and check out our official website at hidonix.com. Thank you so much.
Wow, what a powerful tool. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Giovanna, for that presentation. That was fantastic. I especially appreciated how you dove into common challenges that museums face and how MIT's AI solutions can help solve those. I don't see any questions in the Q&A at the moment or in the chat, but I do have a few that I had while looking at your presentation. I'd love to learn more about how customizable the tours are, and what factors the AI considers, if you know what it considers when curating those experiences.
Yeah, Giovanna, you want me to tackle that question?
Of course.
I got it. So the tours can be customized by basically any member of the museum staff. So with the MIT system, if you work in marketing, you'll typically have access to the features related to marketing. If you work in member services, you'll have access related to all of the features related to member services. But if you're a curator, you can go in and create your own experience. So we have what's called the curator's choice, to where if you're a curator, say you've been working in a particular museum for 5, 10 years, and you just have your favorite pathway. You can put that pathway directly into the content management system, and it'll reflect on your users' phones here. So it's completely customizable, but your users can also receive recommended tours based on what they've seen in the past. Even if they're a first-time visitor, what a lot of our users do is for first-time visitors, if they download the application, which I've got it downloaded here on my phone as well, I'll show you guys. So for a lot of first-time visitors, if they have the application, they'll receive a notification saying, hey, welcome to XYZ Museum. This is what we recommend our first-time visitors see. And now you have that specific path. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Thank you. And we did actually get a couple questions submitted.
Awesome.
Michelle in the chat is asking, where does this system pull the AI information from?
Great question. So the application on the phone for your constituents and visitors and the content management system talk to each other back and forth. So everything that is done within the visitor application generates a point of data for the museum staff in the content management system. So if I spend maybe an extended amount of time looking at the Starry Night here in the application, if I click through Starry Night, or even if I go ahead and translate it to a different language, if I translate the application to a different language, that's like 5, 6 different data points that have just been sent back to the content management system. So being that it is powered both by OpenAI and by our internal AI machine learning models, it's pretty seamless for the data to bounce back and forth between all of our proprietary technologies.
That's true. And also, I would like to add that from the visitor side, we could use also visitor profiling. So when they first access the app, they can choose, of course, their preferences. Like, for example, if they are more interested into contemporary art, or they are into an artist in particular, they can pick their choices, and then the AI will process that information to show them what they're interested in. And they can also input, for example, for tours, let's say I have just 1 hour into the Louvre. I want to see this, this, and that. So the AI will suggest the best path to reach those artworks in that time constraint.
I suspect the Michelle's question is more about the authority of the information that's coming and how you can kind of guarantee how authoritative that is. If you're pulling information about, I mean, Vincent van Gogh, right? You know, that's out there. That's probably, you know, okay and accurate, but lesser known artists and information
I see.
is potentially more suspect.
Okay.
Or there are very, so I think that's what's.
It was a more technical question. I see.
Yeah.
I get it.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
she agreed.
So,
That's what you said, Nik.
awesome, awesome. So as far as checks and balances go, the AI and the machine learning, once again, this is the culmination of 10 years of research and development. So over the past 5 years, we've been rigorously testing these models. So by the time that any of this has been implemented in a museum, the testing has been done probably tens of thousands, maybe even millions of times. So the testing is where it begins. Now, from day one of you using the MIT platform, based on the data that you put into it, it may already be familiar with the entirety of your museum. Say you own a museum and you have a collection of 20,000 objects, images, and pictures. Once you put that into the system, the AI and the machine learning is actually learning your museum. Now, the more people that use the application, the more visitors you have, the more time the AI has to basically learn your environment, the better things will be. But in the beginning, a lot of the checks and balances are going to come from the testing that we've done. But keep in mind, it's a completely modular system. So if you see something that looks off, you can go in and change it yourself.
Yeah, during these years, of course, we have collected a lot of information about museums and artists because we have worked with many museums. So we have our own database that we can use to train the machine learning system. And that's why our information are quite accurate. Of course, if we're going to use OpenAI, and that's, of course, one of our clients' choice, it will stick to their database and their data.
Great.
Great question, Michelle. Thank you.
Yeah, and I think this may have already been touched on, this question that was submitted in the Q&A. So if there's anything additional you want to add to it, they've asked, for those museums that choose to generate their own content, collection, cataloging, and interpretation, what mechanisms are in place in MIT for data sharing / upload into the system?
So you can upload JPEG files, GIFs, Excel files, anything that you currently have stored, because we understand a lot of museums are still using Excel and things like Google Sheets to manage their collections. So wherever you currently manage your museum today, you can take that data and store it directly into the MIT. So you can also download directly from MIT as well. So if you say have 35 new users this month and you want to download and export a list, you can download an Excel file list directly from MIT. So all of the information that you have is uploaded into the platform. And in our implementation phase, when we work with new partners, what we do is decide what you want uploaded into the MIT initially. So our teams can handle the data upload, or the prospects teams can handle them. It's entirely up to the museum.
Okay, great. And our next question, the Q&A, they're asking if you can give examples of museums where they can see the museum's website and how the tools work for them.
If you sign an NDA.
Yes, for now we're collaborating with many museums in the US, but we can't tell more at this stage. But in the next months, we're going to reveal who they are and how we're working with them. For sure, we have some museums in Italy that already used our platform, like for example, Venice Biennale that has used our platform for the Venice Pavilion during the Venice Biennale of Architecture. And we have Progetto Genesi as well, that is curated by an association that is very interested in defending human rights. And we have many others that we can share, of course, with anyone that is interested.
Great. So that's, oh, wait, hold on, I think there's one more in the Q&A. Yep, sorry, I missed that. The mobile app and the map, you showed how it's possible for the user to see where they're going. Is there a way to engage users with the artwork that they're near, populate information about the pieces that they're approaching, or that they can view in something like a camera, as well as provide information about related artworks in another part of the museum?
Yeah, it's called geolocation. So by using geolocation, we can send customized messages to constituents based on where they are within the museum. For example, if I'm walking past the gift shop and I have the application open, I'll receive a notification saying, hey, you're in the gift shop. We saw that you spent X amount of time in front of the Starry Night. We have a Starry Night mug. Would you like to purchase it for 20% off? So the geolocation is a big part of it. And once again, we achieved that through the indoor navigation technology. So because we know where your constituents are in real time, we can push specific notifications to them, and not just for marketing and revenue purposes, even for security purposes. Say there's a fire that breaks out in the bathroom on the 4th floor. Anyone who's within a certain geometric area of that fire can receive a notification saying, hey, please evacuate, take the stairs, etc. So we can navigate people to safety while navigating public safety officers and firefighters toward the situation.
And we can use geolocation. Oh, sorry to interrupt you, Jovan. Go ahead.
No, no worries. Sorry about that.
We can use geolocation also to engage users with specific content. Like, for example, if you're going very near to an artwork that you have interacted with, we can push also, for example, playlists that will set the mood in that specific room, or specific video or AR content. So that's tons of way we can engage with users through geolocation.
So Jovan, there were a couple of things actually. One thing you really glossed over that I want you to answer was the whole smart parking thing, but let's do that in a minute. So you talked about Hido going through mapping and then scanning images, but those images that we saw, they weren't scanned by Hido, right?
So video.
So when you were in the content management system and you
Mhm.
were pulling in images, I mean, they look like traditionally scanned images, but what is Hido scanning in terms of?
I see. So what Hido does is it does two things. When it's scanning, it acquires the geomagnetic fingerprint, which is what we actually use for the indoor navigation. So a lot of people think we use beacons or some other technology. It's completely hardwareless. Geomagnetism is basically leveraging the connection between the Earth's core and the geomagnetic fingerprints that, say, our cell phones or buildings give off. Most things that contain iron or metal give off a geomagnetic fingerprint. So what Hido is doing is he's mapping that geomagnetic fingerprint and he's turning everything that he sees into data. So Hido also has cameras on it as well. So it's taking pictures as well of every single point of interest, whether it be indoors or outdoors. And it creates rough models based on the data that it sees. Now that data then goes into the content management system and our engineers turn it into actual points of interest. So say Hido sends a rudimentary figure of a bathroom. Our engineers are actually creating the model in 3D for that bathroom and putting it into the content management system. So now you have your physical museum, but your entire museum has been digitized. Granted, you let us go in and map it.
Okay. So
Yes.
scanning in the geomagnetic
Yeah, and
way
it also
rather
uses
than.
LiDAR technology as well.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, it also serves the purpose of creating a database for recognition. So as he walks around, it acquires data about all the images that it can acquire of that specific artwork, so that later on, when we train our system for recognition, it gets recognized in seconds. So you don't have to have people doing that. We can do it with Hido.
Excellent question.
We got a couple more questions submitted. The next one, you may have mentioned this before, but is this a replacement of our own CMS or would they work in tandem?
Great question. So there's two answers there. One thing you're going to hear when working with Hidonix is we're rarely ever going to tell you no. So it's entirely up to you. My preference being that I work in development, I want you to utilize MIT for all parts of your museum because it is intended to manage and standardize operations across all parts of your museum. But if you really like your content management system, you can continue to use your content management system. Just use Hidonix for everything else, whether it be marketing, ticketing, analytics, etc. So as long as your current provider is willing to play ball with their APIs, we can connect directly into that existing platform. So one thing that we kind of discussed in the challenges is that fragmented digitization. Hidonix also acts as a bridge between all of your different softwares that don't talk to each other. Our platform can make them talk to each other. So it's entirely up to you what you want to use the platform for, but it's my preference that you use it for everything. I think it'll make your life a lot easier.
Fantastic. All right,
Thank
so
you. Great question.
we got the questions coming in now. Next one is, how does Hido work when artwork is taken down or installed? Do you need to send him out to rescan the galleries?
No, that is a great question. That's a question we get a lot. Because when we scan the galleries, we are making 2D and 3D renders. But if you take an artwork down and say you move it from the eastern wing on the second floor to the western wing on the first floor, you can just log that change within the content management system. The only time Hido will ever need to come in and actually remap something is if you build a new wing or you entirely move the location of your museum. Other than that, all changes are just logged within MIT.
Cool.
Great question.
All right. So how is the CMS/content updated oh, sorry. It was just answered. The same question. All right. So next question is, what is included in the marketing features?
So marketing is going to be a lot of those personalized experiences that we discussed. But Giovanna is our chief marketing officer, so I can't think of anyone better to answer that question than her.
Of course, of course. So we have lots of ways of engaging people, to engage people. And that are the classic one, like blogs, for example. You can always post blogs on our mobile app. You can use our app to describe events and also to invite people to the events, because we have this beautiful integration with the CRM. You can always run campaigns through the CRM, and then our mobile users are targeted. So it's an all integrated system that works really amazing in terms of marketing. We have, of course, the geolocation feature, which is very useful in terms of marketing new features, new collection, new exhibitions, and everything a museum have. So we have plenty of those. And of course, analytics, I think, from a marketing perspective, are one of the main assets that we're selling through MIT, because you will know who's going to attend your exhibition, or who mostly visit your permanent collection. So once you know your visitors, you can target them with the right ads and with the right content.
Thank you. All right, so we got another question. Do your tools work for digital asset management?
Yes, because we digitize all parts of your museum. So we kind of make digital asset management a little easier, because not only do you have 2D and 3D maps of all of your points of interest, if your collection is wax figures, if your collection is cars, if your collection is comprised of sculptures, or even all of those things, we digitize all of it. So it makes it pretty easy to make things active. You can archive them, add them to specific exhibitions. There's different tags that are associated within the platform. So you can customize those tags or have the AI generate those tags. So you have entire control over all of your digital assets through MIT.
All right, so we just got another one submitted. Can you view 3D objects in the app? What about augmented reality? Is that an option?
Yes. So much like we discussed the scan button, where our image recognition technology allows you to just scan a specific artwork, you can actually have access to different AR, VR, and mixed reality features that are going to be pushed through. And then Giovanna can talk a little bit more about that, because she's actually been to a lot of the events that we put on, to where we're actually using things like Apple Vision Pro and so on and so forth.
Sure. So as I was mentioning at the very beginning of this event, we are working with extended reality. So basically, we can work both with virtual tours, with virtual reality. We can work with mixed reality, and we have done it, for example, for a Giotto exhibition, where we have scanned the real Scrovegni Chapel in Padua. And we then reproduce it as a mixed reality model that people could walk in, literally. And we can use augmented reality as well. So we can help our customers to create beautiful augmented reality effects on the artwork. So once they've scanned the artwork through our image recognition system, they can access those kind of content.
Okay, great. We got another question submitted in the chat. How do your museum clients identify their users? Ticket and ID based, device based, face recognition? How has Hidonix been able to navigate the privacy limitations in that domain?
Excellent question. So there's a few different ways to handle that. But I want to start with the view of the visitor. So if I'm a visitor at a museum and I'm just downloading this museum's new application, which once again, the application you see now says MIT, but whenever a museum is working with us, it's going to be the museum's letterhead and all of their marketing materials in that application. So we white label it to that museum. It's their name on the application. It's just powered by Hidonix. So say I'm a visitor at XYZ Museum and it's my first time there. I see this new application. I want to download it. I can make my own profile. So I can mark myself as a visitor. I can mark myself as a member. I can add my membership number. I can mark myself as a frequent visitor. But if I choose not to do that, once again, in the ingestion process, when we're actually building out the platform and implementing it for our partners, I'm sure they have data stored somewhere of their current constituents, of their current members and visitors. So we take that data and we upload it into the MIT. So all of your visitors, whether they are members, donors, lifetime members, fundraisers, they have their own individual profiles. And then everything that they do within your museum from that point on, of you guys using Hidonix, it generates a data point within their specific profile. So is it ticket and ID based? The answer would be yeah. All of the tickets that you buy are going to be stored within your individual profile. Is it device based? I would also say the answer is yes, because once again, the application is on your mobile device. So the more you utilize the application, the more data and insight that we have on your constituents. Facial recognition, that is actually one thing we didn't mention, is we do have facial recognition technology. It is really popular as far as security features go. Some museums like it, some museums prefer not to utilize it. It really just depends on that case-by-case basis. And then how has Hidonix been able to navigate the privacy limitations in that domain? Once again, we will comply with all privacy limitations based on our prospects, being that we are a global organization. GDPR in the United States is a bit different from, say, privacy regulations in Dubai. So it really just depends on that case-by-case basis. And we're more than willing to comply with all privacy limitations in respect to individual states and entities.
Very good. Next question. What about all of the objects in storage? Can we upload and ingest all of that information and images?
Yes, the answer there is yes. Once again, those items in storage can be scanned by Hido, or if you have, say, an Excel file of all your items in storage, you can just upload it directly into the platform. And then if you want to make anything in storage active, you can do that through MIT as well. It's a pretty seamless process, and we can definitely discuss it further.
Yeah, and museums can always decide which artworks they're going to show on the mobile app and which not. So the CMS can be used just for archival purposes and not for showing to people which artworks are on display, for example.
Excellent, thank you. We got a few minutes left. We don't have any other questions submitted. It looks like Nick's got one.
Smart parking. You've got to explain what that is.
Yes. Okay. So smart parking is another technology that was developed in-house. And essentially, there are a number of different ways we can accomplish it, whether we use beacons. But the goal really is to utilize the indoor navigation along with the phone application. So say you want to take a trip to a museum here in Los Angeles, which Los Angeles is heavily convoluted, congested area. Parking is a big point of frustration for a lot of people. So you can go in the application and actually reserve a parking spot. And the parking spot that is reserved is then reflected to the museum staff in the MIT system. So they can say, okay, we have a family of 4 that reserved parking lot 63 in lot B for 4 hours. When your 4 hours is up, you'll receive a notification on your phone saying, hey, you've got 30 minutes left. Would you like to add more time to your parking? And then the museum staff will receive another notification saying, okay, this person, this family added 30 more minutes to their parking. So it's meant to make parking at museums a little less frustrating. But there's a number of different ways we can approach it. Some museums like beacons, some don't. So it really just depends on how they want us to utilize it.
So for that to work, you would need a smart parking lot, for example.
In a way, we can also leverage the data of the cameras, which a lot of parking lots are going to have cameras, which is going to be a little more complicated than just installing beacons in the parking lot. But there are a number of different ways we can go about it. But yeah, anything that is essentially an IP technology, Hidonix can integrate with it. So your entire Internet of Things can be integrated. Now, if you're, say, a really old institution with really nothing smart or IP on your campus, it's going to be a little more rudimentary to set it up. It's probably going to be all beacons, which will work, but still a little bit rudimentary in modern times, but it will work.
Okay.
Great question. Thank you.
Right. Well, we've got a minute left. I don't see any other questions, so why don't we go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you, Giovanna and Jovan, so much for coming on to the series, and to everyone who's joined in to listen and ask questions today. BPOC will be back later this month with another webinar with Indulge Me, an innovative app that leverages computer vision and location-based services that create immersive educational tours and gamified experiences. I'm sad that this will be the last I see you all, but I am looking forward to being an attendee going forward into the future.
If we let
Please
you in.
follow. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Nik.
I said, if we let you in.
I will just assume a new alias and you'll never know.
Well, that's fair. Well, before you say that, thank you, Alex. You've done a tremendous job in building up this dreaming series. If it wasn't for you, it wouldn't be where it is today. So thank you for that.
Appreciate that. This has been a joy for me, truly. Please, everyone, follow BPOC on LinkedIn, Facebook, to stay tuned on BPOC's current activities, including announcements and future webinars. And hopefully we will have Hidonix back again on the series, because I know you guys have a ton of features and functionality on your platform. But thank you again, everyone. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week, and you will see BPOC next time. Take care, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thanks, Giovanna. Thanks, Jovan.